Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Murti Magdapane, and in this moment, I'm going to present our paper titled Role of Escapism, Value, Cultural Interest, and AI Experiences on Tourist Cognitive Absorption. There are 20 slides, and I'm going to skip several of them. And here is our team. Me, myself, Mukti Magdapane, Teguh Amur Patria, Sulistyo Heri Prajoyo, Dina Dewi Dinawati, Diki Hidasyakhari, we are from Bina Nusantara University, and Jenny Lee from Kyungpook National University, our partner, our international partner. For the first variable, cognitive absorption, we know that in Indonesia, cognitive absorption refers to the extent of which tourists attend to place-related stimuli and engage in cognitive processing of tours, services, and destinations, which inform their attitudes and behaviors at the destination. And escapism value is a state of motivation in which people try to escape real-world stressors and find relief through an alternative activity, leading to absorption, cognitive narrowing, and temporary dissociation as key aspects of ethnopsychiatry. Cultural interest is said to be a measure of how people are attracted to other cultures, practices, and intercultural significance, and how they participate in them. And in the tourism context, AI experiences are personalized as tourist subjective perceptions and interactions with artificial intelligence tools and systems encountered during their travel journey. This research fills a devastating gap, the lack of an integrated framework to explain the roles of escapism value, cultural interest, and AI-mediated experiences in organizing remembering of the Indonesian archipelagic tourism environment. This research views escapism as a thinking force, a motivational framework that allows the person to temporarily dissociate and paradoxically to focus their concentration on the location. It also places AI experiences in the category of structural intermediaries that recalibrate attentional control and intrinsic motivations, thereby refuting the claim that absorption can be achieved only through human-to-place interaction. For literature review, of course, we review about cognitive absorption, or CA. The CA refers to comprehensive and intimate exploration of a technology that influences its use, education, and behavior. And relationship between escapism value and cognitive absorption. We can jump to the H1. Escapism value has a positive effect on cognitive absorption. And the third, relationship between cultural interest and cognitive absorption. Well, from many research about the relationship between cultural interest and cognitive absorption, we can jump to H2. It is cultural interest has a positive effect on cognitive absorption. And the last is the relationship between AI experiences and cognitive absorption. From many research about AI experiences and cognitive absorption, we can jump to H3. AI experiences has a positive effect on cognitive absorption. And for the method, we use quantitative approach to 286 respondents. We use purposive sampling. The respondents are domestic and international tourists who had visited Yogyakarta and Bali. These two destinations were selected due to their prominence as cultural and heritage tourism centers in Indonesia, offering diverse tourist experiences that encompass cultural attractions, traditional arts, historical sites, and increasingly technology-mediated services. Of the 420 questionnaires distributed, 328 were returned, yielding an initial response rate of 78.1%. This represents a final effective response rate of 68.1%. In the following data, screening and removal of incomplete responses and unengaged responses, a final sample of 286 usable responses was retained for analysis. The data collection conducted through a structured self-administered questionnaire, which was distributed in both paper-based and digital formats to accommodate respondent preferences and accessibility. Paper-based questionnaires were administered at tourist sites, while digital questionnaires were distributed via QR codes displayed at tourism information centers and through online channels. The measurement for the variables for the study, is 4, and they are dependent variable or Y. It is cognitive absorption, consisted of 7 indicators adopted from SU 2024, and the independent variables. The first is escapism value, consisted of 5 indicators adopted from Choi 2023, is X1, and cultural interest consisted of 5 indicators adopted from Perez Galvez 2021. It is for X2, and AI experiences consisted of 5 indicators adopted from 2023. It is for X3. We can see from the descriptive statistic for the 286 respondents, there are 3 categories of age. They are the first category 18 to 28 years old. They are amounted 54, and it is 19%. And the second 29 to 44 years old, they are 134 persons, and it is 47%. And above 45 years old, amounted of 98 persons, and it is 34%. Of course, there are categorized by genders. There are 118 males, there are 41%, and 168 females, then there are 59%. From the results of construct validity and reliability, we can say that all variables are valid and reliable. And from the result of Fornell-Lecker criterion, we can see here, and heterotrait and monotrait ratio. You can see the table here for the result, and confirmatory figure analysis for 4 variables, and the path coefficient for 3 independent variables to 1 dependent variables. And from the path coefficient in table 5 support all 3 hypotheses, the effect sizes reveal differences in the theoretical relationships. AI experiences emerge as the strongest predictor of cognitive absorption, consistent with recent research by Akaria and Huang, who found that well-aligned AI tools lead to immersion and increased concentration. The effect of AI experiences is approximately twice that of escapism value, suggesting that artificial intelligence experiences may have a more substantial association with cognitive engagement, potentially by reducing extraneous cognitive load and providing responsive feedback mechanisms. This finding aligns with Gonzalez Yubero and Jacobas to some extent, though the magnitude of the effect differs from some previous studies. Cultural interest demonstrates the smallest yet still statistically significant effect, supporting UPD and moderating overly optimistic claims about the universal benefits of cultural curiosity. We also mentioned about practical managerial here. There were several points, and you can conclude that the results provide three main findings. First, AI experiences emerge as the strongest predictor, indicating that AI tools reorganize attentional processes likely by reducing cognitive workload and enabling responsive feedback. And the second, escapism value and cultural interest showed statistically significant but weaker effects, which puts into question overly romanticized arguments about the traditional hedonic and curiosity-driven antecedents in modern digitalized travel landscapes. And the model explained approximately 55.1% of the variance in cognitive absorption. So this study contributes to the ethnopsychiatric intercultural human AI interaction literature by integrating these fields into a cognitive absorption model extending beyond Western-centric flow-based paradigms. In practice, the results suggest that destination managers and tourism technology designers may benefit from focusing on adaptive AI interfaces rather than solely on escapist or culturally generic interventions. Several strengths of this study include the established discriminant validity using both the Fornell-Larker and HTMT criteria, the context-specific measurement scales based on Indonesia's heterogeneous tourism ecosystems, and the conceptualization of escapism as a cognitive rather than pathological force. The limitations of the study are the cross-sectional design precludes causal inference, convenience sampling in Yogyakarta and Bali limits generalizability to other regions of Indonesia. The sample is predominantly female and middle-aged, which may mask generational or gender differences. For future research, we can make the longitudinal designs to investigate the temporal stability or cognitive absorption, examine moderating effects of destination familiarity and task complexity, and compare AI-mediated versus human-led experiences across various cultural contexts. The second point is the relevance of the study is not confined to tourism, but also to the fields of human-computer interaction, digital marketing, and cross-cultural psychology, where the problem of re-engineering human attention, immersion, and meaning-making through an algorithmically mediated environment is becoming increasingly important. There can be also examined moderators like digital literacy and prior AI experience. Tourists with higher digital literacy may achieve stronger absorption through more effective tool use, while those with limited exposure might need extra support to reach similar engagement levels. And these are our references. And thank you.